So how would another race actually know what it's like to be an African American if they're not an African American?
Dialogue, talking, getting to know each other. Understanding that maybe those differences are going to make you special. Not so much be competitive, but come together and pull your strengths from each other. You know, when I was in the military is where I learned that. My brothers were white in the military. My brothers were black in the military. The military did not fool with a lot of that, you know, black-white thing. We was green. You know, we was all green and that green army machine. And, you know, and they didn't play about it, and we learned. And I think when you have to depend, your life depends on another person, it doesn't matter what color that person is. Just save me. Just help me. And let's work together. And I think that's what society as a whole has to learn to do.
I think other races will have to go against the system that benefits them before we see that change.
Well, you know, that's that competitive piece I'm talking about. It's enough of the pie to go around, but people are so defensive of their piece that they don't want to give a crumb. You know, that type of thing. You know, you know, they're worried about it. But it's going to change regardless anyway.
You think so?
Yeah, it's going to change because the color of America is changing.
Yeah, I just think, you know,
the institutions can't help but change because pretty soon all the people have changed.
So it'll become the have and have-nots instead of black and white.
Possibly. That's the where we're headed. That's what it seems like.
That's not much better.
That's where you see that big gap, you know, coming in there, you know, between the middle class and the 1%, as they say, you know, that type of thing. But
that's almost like going to bad to worse then.
It could be. I mean, it's up to us. Again, you got to believe that good can win, and not be cutthroat. You know, and go ahead and do the right thing all the time.
Everybody,
you know, everybody has to do their part. If everybody did their part, it'd be a better place. I mean, I know it sounds corny and all that, but it is so true. It is so true. If you could just pick your area and be good at what you're supposed to do, it's going to work out.
I don't know if I'll live to see that. But
well, you got to have faith.
It sounds good.
You got to have faith and hope. Yeah.
When you die, if you could come back as any other race, what would it be?
African American.
Really?
Yes, I come back because that's all I know. That's all I know, and I just never had a desire to be Asian or Caucasian or, you know, so I'm like, well, this was fine.
It works for you.
Yeah, it does.
It's not all bad.
No, it isn't. It can be hard, but I also believe other races, it can be hard too. So, you know, I mean, it's good and bad in every race.
That's true.
Yeah, it's
That's
good and
true.
bad, yeah.
We have so much media influence. What source do you take from? And what source do you trust? Like, what news do you watch? You watch CNN, Fox? You go to blogs online?
Well, you know, that's interesting because I like to mix them up. Because if you mix them up, you know, the Army taught me, know what the enemy's thinking. So that requires me to watch more conservative type channels. Plus, as I grow and get older, I'm thinking that I'm getting a little more conservative. I think that's natural to do, I guess. I don't know. Because I'm like, these kids, and then I'm thinking, oh, I never thought I'd be talking like this. But, you know, the older you get, the more conservative I think you get. But I just always believe that if you know the other side, it makes you even smarter. So you should know both sides of the coin, you know.
So you're not going to give me a straight answer?
Give
me one place where you know you can go that they will give you accuracy all the time.
The Bible.
The Bible.
Yeah.
That's your source of media?
That's my source of belief. You said that I can trust. I'm only trusting the Lord and praying and getting that spiritual, you know, feeling or intervention and discernment, and then I'm going from there. As far as trying to understand what's around me, I'm a little Fox, a little CNBC, a little CNN, you know, I'm going to mix that up. And then I think by listening to all that, you pretty much figure out what's accurate and what's, because you learn their personalities and what they're about, you know.
So those predictions and relevation.
Right. It helps you come up with a smarter or a more intelligent answer.
Yes.
By listening to all of it. Because, see, some people only want to listen to what makes them feel good. No, I need to listen to the side that's against me, too. Because, you know, it's like putting yourself in other person's shoes. And you may change you.
Right.
Make you say, hey, they got a point. That's about that honesty. To get to that honesty, you got to listen to it all, to weigh it honestly.
Well, I was going to say revelations.
Yeah.
There's a lot of predictions. So I guess that's the first thing I thought when you said media, because it's almost like it's a prediction, and you don't have to watch the news if you don't want to.
Right.
You can just read what's supposedly going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's true. That's a fact.
That works
yeah.
too.
That'll work.
So did we see Ferguson happening?
I saw Ferguson living here in Springfield years ago. If you look at some of the demographics, it's very similar. And I think Ferguson is just a shot of a lot of Fergusons across the whole United States. You know, did I see it happening? Just in a lot of different ways. Not exactly just the way it happened for Mike Brown, but I think that kind of stuff happens every day.
So why do you think we focused and put our energy into Mike Brown's situation?
I think just the way they handled it made it more nationalized. Being out there for 4 hours, that's not normal, you know. The way the guy went to a grand jury versus the way he could have went. The way he wouldn't accuse himself, the way the governor wouldn't do things. They call out the now. I mean, all these things there's a lot of unique things that happen in the Michael Brown thing that didn't happen in these everyday cases where this kind of stuff happens. At least they charge the guy and have a trial.
Right.
You know, in this case, the last couple of them, Trayvon Martin, they didn't want to do no arrests. So that draws that attention. Had they just did the right thing, okay, he may still get off, but we're going to arrest him and have a trial. Just because you're arrested don't mean you're guilty.
Right.
Just because you're charged don't mean you're guilty. You get your fair, and everybody wants that, but when they say absolutely not, we're not even going to look at it, that's what riles people up. That's what gets people emotional and say, that ain't fair. You know, so...
That goes back into everybody just needs to do the right thing.
Yeah. Had this guy done the right thing, 12 buildings wouldn't have burned down. All those cars wouldn't have got, you know, and then when the kids are wrong, they shouldn't loot. They shouldn't be doing all this burning. But in their minds, they say, well, I'm going to cost them $100 million, and let's see if that was worth it.
I think there's...
I mean, and that's silly, but that's the way they was thinking, you know.
I don't think a lot of that was actually real. I'm a bit of a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah.
I think a lot of those people were hired for TV. I don't think the people actually living there were doing most of it.
Well, I don't think it was the ones living there, but I think it's ones from across the country that have had bad experiences with police. You know, I went to Ferguson. I stood out there. I was with a youth minister. We had to lock hands and block them from coming into the stores. And as we did that, they were like animals, jumping up and down, going crazy, just angry, really just throwing a fit or a tantrum. And we would try to talk to him and say, well, what are you gonna mess with the store for? And the guy said, I'm gonna take some for every time they made me lay on the ground. I'm gonna take something every time they made me pull my pants down. And we was asking, well, why would they do that? Well, when they stop them, they don't trust them. And what the guys were saying, we're scared too. They get to put their hand on their gun and walk up. We're scared too. So, you know, you got two scared situation, but only the police scare counts. Them being scared don't count. You know, anything they do is going to be wrong. And so they just angry about all those stops. And I guess it went on so long. I'm not from the area, but from what I'm hearing, if you just look at the history of it and how long it's been going on, it just bubbled over. And finally, and so here they are thinking, well, we're going to pay them back. One kid tried to tell me, well, if we do this enough to these stores, that's where the power is, the store owners. They'll help us change the mayor. They'll help us change. You see, so their thinking is just not quite right, but they think I can have an impact if I shut this store down, if I shut down this block. You know, I can have an impact on sales. You know, they're just trying to use their minds to think. And they don't understand mixing it up with, well, you know, the young folks ain't going to be as peaceful as it was like back in the 60s when King was around and said, you know, this is nonviolence.
Because I think a part of them knows that doesn't work.
Well, that's what I'm saying to you when I say
Too much
action.
meeting. Yeah.
They want action. They don't want meetings. They want action, you know. But that nonviolence did work. We did get the right to vote. We did get to sit in the front of the bus. We did get to do. So there is some progresses that can be made through civil disobedience. But to burn your own neighborhood and tear up. That, if you're going to do that, then you better go take the arch down. You know what I'm saying? Why would you sit there and do it in your own neighborhood?
That's why I really don't think it was them. I don't think it was the people living there.
Well, there's a whole lot of things that come into play there. You're right. There's different groups from across the country, and like you said, it could people be doing it for the 15 minutes of fame. Other people because they're just crazy and I get a chance to act up. I'm going to, take advantage of this.
Yeah.
So, but I do agree with you. The majority are out there trying to do it the right way.
Absolutely. What is the best advice ever given to you?
I think my grandfather, when he told me to always be myself and always love myself no matter what. I think that's the best advice you can give anybody. Just be true to yourself because it's your life. And, you only have one life to live. So, and you can't be happy if you ain't doing what you want to do. So it takes a lot out of people, especially if they're not doing what others want them to do. But
I wanted to say, where do you think the elders dropped the ball? Because we get so much criticism as youth, but it has to be stemming from something. Somebody dropped the ball, didn't say enough, didn't do enough, did too much.
I think as a culture, as African Americans, I think we dropped the ball when we quit being ourselves. And people get mad at me for that. I believe in corporal punishment.
Okay.
I do. I got whoopings. I think kids should get whoopings. But this timeout stuff and this, you can't do this, and we dropped the ball when we gave the kids the power. That's why today coaches, teachers, anybody of authority have a hard time with any kind of teenager, black, white, it don't matter. They have all the power. I think they call themselves trying to protect them from child abuse and some of the different abuses. So the laws kind of swung too far the other way, and now the kids know it. You can't touch me. You can't hit me. You can't do that. Where when I came through, you got beat by everybody's mama until you got home, and then your own mama was, So I think we dropped the ball with the laws that we passed when we went too far with trying to prevent abuse. We empowered the kids and then took the power away from the people in authority. I was scared of my principal. I was scared of my dad. Kids today are not scared of principals and dads and moms, and that's why they're quick to say, I can call this number and I can report you and you can't hit me, and it's backwards. Everybody should stay in their role. My mom's role was to get on me if I got out of line, and that's what she did.
How effective do you think the Springfield Urban League is in the NAACP?
I think they're like any other national or international organization. Different chapters are different. Some are weaker than others. There's times I wish both here in Springfield would do more, and then there's some times of the year where I think, well, they're doing all right. Then there's times I'm like, well, all they have is their dinners every year. They don't, where's their action?
$75 dinner.
Yeah, where's their action, But I love a lot of people that participated in. I think they need to look at other branches in other cities and take a page from them and just get a little more progressive and involved, especially with young people, not just them, the churches too, the faith coalitions too. We're 24-year-olds to 30-year-olds are missing everywhere. They're not in nobody's organization, and that's not good. Because for organizations to continue on, you have to keep recruiting young people.
Right.
And they're missing. And when you go to some of these functions and all you see is, older people.
Right.
The young people that you do see are there because their parents are making them come or something like that. We need to have youth chapters of these organizations.
Yeah, but they don't have anybody to look up to.
Well, you got to start somewhere. Start back over. Look up to themselves. Elect their own president and start it over. It can happen. You can get involved and get back into things again and become your own leader.
Okay.
And then these organizations will survive and mean something again. Because when you don't have nobody to look up to, then you start looking up to the wrong things.
Right.
Like the gangster rappers and all that type of stuff starts coming into play. Young people have it harder because they're dealing with a whole lot of things that my generation didn't have to deal with. We didn't have nobody texting us or putting us on the internet and Facebook. And, we didn't have all that to deal
Right.
with. We had our fights, but the next day we were friends.
Damage control is
Yeah.
what we're missing today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Something you said hit home because you said we need to look up to ourselves and we need to vote our own leaders in. I am very bad with voting.
Why?
I don't think it helps.
Well,
I think, you know what, my uncle said it best. If they don't go in a crook, they come out one.
Well, you have to understand the correlation between the ballot box and life, the impacts that the ballot box has on your life. Because this particular program you may be in is funded somewhere and somehow. Some governor, some legislator, somebody, some college president said put that in the budget. Yes, they're going to have this program. But if that elected person didn't believe in this program or so rich they can't relate to this program, they don't need affordable housing. They don't need link cards. They don't need no TV, nothing. We don't need those kind of shows. We got the big shows. So what I'm saying to you is there's a correlation. And everybody has to understand the correlation on how it impacts their lives. And once they understand how it impacts their life, if it's something as simple as a driver's license and how much they pay for their driver's license, or what the rules are about getting a driver's license or not, all those things are impacts on your life. Every aspect of your life is touched by politics. So I think everybody should vote, and they should vote their self-interest. What is best for me?
Right. But these are paid elected officials. So if I'm not putting anything towards their campaign, why would they look out for me once they're in office?
Well, I think most politicians, now you're not going to like this based on what you just said, mean well. And they want to do well, but they are in a system to get anything. You have to compromise. You have to barter. So I might run for office and say, I'm never going to do this. Then they get there and say to their other colleagues, I need you to vote with me so I can get this. And they say, well, I need your vote. So then there's going to be that one or two things I'm at to back up on to vote for so I can get something, that I've said. So it's kind of just the system that we live under. And, of course, it makes them look like a liar. And they have to do a very good job about coming home and explaining that, and a lot of them don't.
Right.
And that's what makes them look like, that's where you get the politicians are liars, or they're all, you just said it, But I really believe they start off trying to do the right thing. But the system in which they have to work under doesn't always allow it, because you can go there, Mr. Smith goes to Washington type thing, and you're going to come home with nothing, and the people are going to get rid of you because you gave them nothing. So it's just one of those type of jobs, and type of situations.
We should expect someone to not keep one or two of their promises, because that's just too much to ask
Well,
for.
yeah, that's why I always say when they say I'm going to run it like a business or I'm going to do it like, no, it's not a business. It's it's a whole different animal once you get there and you realize you got to work with others. And, if we're both senators and I'm saying, hey, vote for this with me and then I'll vote for that with you, one of those things may be something you have told the people you're not going to support, but then you get there and realize I have to, in order to get, so it becomes priorities then.
Right.
What's my priorities, that type of thing.
So, I say I'm a bit of a conspiracy theorist. Some people say there is an agenda on our people to turn them gay or make them gay. Basically, a new age genocide. The more gay people you have, the more they won't reproduce.
Well, yeah, I've heard that. I heard that about with drugs. I've heard that with, you hear it with everything. Genocide being practiced that slick, would take a lot of people to pull off a conspiracy like that. So I just don't believe that. I think the gay part has always been with mankind and always will be. And yes, I'm a Christian, and yes, I do believe God makes all of us. So it's just up to that individual and God.
So you don't see a big push?
A big push for it, no.
Like on television, on magazines, you don't think they're contaminating our food and messing with people? No.
But I do see the openness of it coming up. Years ago, especially in the black community, that stuff was hidden. And now it's, people are expressing themselves or really, as they say, coming out about it, And I think that's because people realize they only got that one life. that I told you about earlier, that they must live and choose, and in these times and days, they know they can do it and get away with it, whereas before, you just didn't do it. The law started protecting them. The law started being on their side, and so that's why you have people doing what they do.
Nothing new under the sun, basically.
No, nothing new. To me, that's always been around. Male, female, it didn't matter. So.
I think we've had a great conversation. We do
Sure.
have to wrap it up.
Sure.
We had so much to cover. I think
Yeah.
we covered it all, though.
Okay.
Is there anything you want to say that I didn't bring up, or anything you wanted to expound on before we leave?
Well, I hope that people will dialogue. I hope they will participate, because I think good citizenship requires participation. So I think people should look at their churches, different organizations, neighborhoods, wherever, and find a place to participate and do their part. And I just think it's going to make society stronger and better all over.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You heard it here, icons. We have Roy Williams Jr. You're going to come back?
Yeah, if I'm invited.
Well, I'm not going to be here. When I'm syndicated, when I'm
Okay.
on Oprah status, you're going to come back?
Oh, yeah. Am I going to be invited? Sure, I'll be glad.
I'm sure people will love this interview, just like
Yeah.
they liked the first one, which is
Okay.
why I brought you back. You're the
Okay.
only person from season 1 I'm bringing back.
Okay.
So this is a special guest to my audience.
I appreciate that.
And you guys have a great, spectacular evening. All right, joining us, we have another special guest with Skank Skates. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's really
Yep.
the name.
That's
Okay.
really the name. Yep. Been around since 1988 now, I guess.
1988, Skank Skates.
Skank Skates.
We have Nighthawk.
Yeah,
Okay.
in
so
the
what-
flesh.
In the flesh.
In the flesh.
And
All
blood.
right. What is this device you're holding? Obviously, it's a guitar.
Yes, this is my bass guitar. I got this for Christmas.
Are you going to play for us?
Sure.
Okay. Something real
Like, right
quick.
now?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have a pick.
No, you need the glasses. You need to put those back on.
You sing too?
No.
No. Okay. That was awesome.
Thanks.
Are
Well,
you at the
I think
Black
it was
Sheep
kind of
too?
sloppy, but yeah, Black Sheep and Skank Skates. Also, Booth City Skate Shop right above Dumb Records.
Okay, right above.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a new skate shop actually recently opened up right above us.
So we have to take the steps and.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
There's like a little balcony that's outside, and you just walk up the stairs, and you'll see the big.
So what do you want us to know about Skank Skates that we don't already know?
Well, I would have to say it's a very good place to go skate and hang out with friends. It's also always open now. I want to say every day, especially when there's shows. But it's only $5 to skate. Probably have to sign a little pain waiver, so that way
Right.
skate
Are
at
there
your own risk.
classes? Do people teach? I don't know how to skate.
I'm not really sure, but I do want to say that a lot of us like locals, we really do help out people with like techniques and stuff like that, and like learning how to do the basic fundamentals.
So you
And-
also sell skateboards and stuff inside of there as well, and all that
Yeah.
kind of stuff.
That's the skate shop, Booth City Skate
Oh,
Shop.
okay.
Which is right
So it's like in
above.
conjunction with
Yeah.
each other.
Yep. Exactly.
Okay, so we have Black Sheep, we have Dumb Records, we have Southtown Records, we
The
have
Southtown Studio.
Southtown Studio,
Yep.
we have
Skank Skates.
Skank Skates,
And
the Booth City.
Skate Shop
Booth
now.
City.
So
Okay,
those 5 things.
that's a lot.
And then of course we got Mary Clay's right next to us
Right.
too, which I mean we like to think of it as
Yeah.
a whole community, like not just us, but all of us eat there too. It's like a nice little neighborhood.
It is,
I
and
guess.
people, think that area is like rough or crime infested, and it's really not. Maybe
And it's been getting
because-
a lot better over
Yeah.
the years, especially over the span that Black Sheep's been there. I feel like.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
I also read that you said there was really never a fight you've experienced
No.
inside of there.
Like no inside Black Sheep. I couldn't tell you the last time we had a fight to break up, and there's not been anything major, and we've never had any problems with the neighborhood either. So it's. I mean, we do hear a lot of like kids saying like, "Oh, my parents don't want me
Yeah.
going over there,"
Yeah.
stuff. But we're always like, "Yeah, that's come
Yeah.
on." Like
mean-
we invite the parents to come out themselves.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
just check it out, see what we're doing.
I live on the east side, so I don't get it. I
absolutely.
don't know what everyone's
I
scared
live
of.
pretty close to there too.
Yeah.
So
So Nighthawk, where'd you get your name from?
I was hanging out with a friend, and they said, "Call me Doobie," and I was like, "Call me Nighthawk," because I just saw this movie Step Brothers, and it just stuck because I mean I was going by Dragon Fart for a while, and also No Refunds, and I went by Psycho Hosebeast for a while. That was about only like 2 months though. I don't know if I can say that on here.
Yeah. Sure.
Okay, sweet. But yeah, it's just a fun place to come and hang out. You know, like just listen to good music, have fun with friends, chill, pick up your trash.
Absolutely. Any final remarks before we go? We got to wrap it up.
Nighthawk, you should tell them about. Nighthawk invented a new skate move.
Oh
the
yes.
Other day.
It is called a sweeper flip. What you do is you do a normal ollie, and you take a broom, and you slap it on the skateboard to make it do a kickflip.
I have no idea what that is, but I'm sure somebody
He
out there is
invented
going
it.
to.
It's kind of
No,
like you know
appreciate this.
you ollie, and then you just
Okay.
Just like that. One more thing to add, we have our website, which is blacksheepspringfield.com, and if anybody's interested in checking out shows coming up or anything, we have all that listed.
Absolutely.
Everything Dumb Records and Southtown Studio related is on the website. It's blacksheepspringfield.com.
I actually have a sticker of that on this little keyboard
you
over
go.
here. I
Can
don't
we get
know if
free
I can
stickers
move.
before you leave?
Do you have any? We have them at the record store. We
I have
haven't
some in
found-
my book bag in the car actually.
Oh, okay.
Bummer.
Maybe we'll get you some.
All right, that marks our time. Please go to blacksheep.com,
blacksheepspringfield.com.
blacksheepspringfield.com, and also listen to the radio station on Fridays.
From 4 to 6,
4 to
88.3.
6. All right.
And shout out to Booth City Skate Shop. Get all your local skate shop needs. Shop locally. Save the scene skateboard wise. Or I play instruments.
Absolutely.
All
Have
right.
an iconic evening.
I am able to sing together at the table of brotherhood.
Sorry, I never told you all I didn't say, and now it's too late to hold you, 'cause you fade away so far. Yeah.
Never had I imagined living without you. Feeling, oh, when you're here, me, it keeps me alive. And I wish shining down on me from heaven, like so many friends we lost along the way. And I know eventually we'll be together once we did.
Darling, I ever showed you soon you'd always be there, always. And I took your